All right. What movie are we here to talk about today, bro?
The Italian film.
That you can't remember. Delirium.
Delirium.
Delirium, I know.
I'm a bit delirious after watching.
It's considered a classic Italian giallo film.
It was dubbed in English. We didn't watch it.
Would I consider it an actual classic horror film? Oh, God, no.
That was a horror film? I thought it was a porno.
I know. It felt like it at times. I'm like, yes, this is Italian. It's classic. It's classy, you know.
It's very classy. Look at the boob.
So basically, it's a softcore porn with some killing in it, huh?
Yeah.
That's what you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really what it was.
It's basically they call it giallo. It's an Italian giallo film, and what giallo is Italian for yellow. And where that comes from is the old pulp novels. They used to have the yellow border on it, so you could tell it was like a yellow book.
Okay.
Because it was those cheap dime store like mysteries or slasher novels. So that's where the term giallo comes from, because it's Italian for yellow. Okay. So they call these giallo films.
Okay.
And in North America, in the U.S. and Canada,
a Jello film, but.
In the U.S. and Canada and North America, we refer to it as a piece of shit.
Or a softcore porn.
Basically, that's what a lot of giallo films are. They are almost borderline softcore porn with some really cheesy slasher stuff in it.
Way more scenes than Samurai Cop did. And
I know.
We mentioned that a lot.
But you see, Italians are a lot less restrictive when it comes to nudity and sex because it's European.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Europeans have far less, are far less restrictive and judgmental in that.
Yeah,
than North Americans are, because North Americans in that category are very uptight, very reserved, very uptight when it comes to that kind.
I agree. And
where Europeans are kind of like, no, it's natural.
The body's beautiful. You know, you should love it regardless of what it looks like.
And that's what I mean. In Europe, the reverse, like sex and nudity is fine. You know what I mean? But they are actually a lot more judgmental and stricter on violence when it comes to judging films. Whereas we're the reverse. You know what I mean? Like in Italy, you could have a movie with sex and nudity, and
it'd be a great film.
They'd be like, okay, that's fine. But as soon as you had a lot of blood and gore and violence, they'd be like, oh, no, whoa. Like, tone this down. This is disturbing. This is creepy. This is weird.
Yeah.
Where in North America, we're the reverse. Like, we could have the most gorific, violence and blood and gore and having people hacked to bits and everything. And the censors are fine with that. But as soon as you see a boob, it's like, whoa. What's that boob doing there?
Come on, I'm watching this movie. Why are you doing this?
It's like, whoa, a kid could watch this. I'm like, yeah, but what about, the kid walking and just watching that person get hacked up with an axe? You're okay with the kid seeing that, but all of a sudden a pair of tits are on screen?
Okay. Boobs, which is natural, and they should logically at some point see
I know. That's why, like, the rest of the world makes fun of North America, and so North America has it backwards, and they're uptight and reserved.
Yeah.
Which is actually true when you really look at it, because you think about that, and it's like, yeah, you're right. The body is natural and normal, and somebody being brutally murdered
than a dead body.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, they're like, yeah, you're right. The body is natural and beautiful, and somebody being violently, bloodily murdered is disturbing. Oh, Europe, you're right. Sex and nudity is okay within context, but this violence, blood, and gore is a bit, it's a bit messed up. You know? They're like, oh, fine, okay, Europe, I'll give you that. But the problem is a lot of people still don't see it that way. They're like, oh, no, violence is natural. I'm like, yeah, but you know what? I'd rather my kid see a pair of breasts than see someone's head being violently split open by an axe.
Yeah.
One I can explain a little bit better than the other.
You're gonna see those one day yourself, hopefully, if you got some skill with the ladies, or if it's a daughter, you're gonna have a pair yourself. Like,
once again, if you have some skill with the ladies.
I meant if it was a daughter, they would acquire boobs, and if it was a son.
No, but I'm saying if the daughter, like your child was gay or straight.
Well, yeah, that
boy or girl, it'd be like
could also be. I just meant sure they might not develop in that way.
No, but I'm just saying, like, if you have any luck with the ladies, like it goes both ways.
Yes. Very fair.
But like
Otherwise, I really hope you don't have to see the guy getting his head cut
I know.
off.
If you really
witness
think
that, I
about
feel
it,
really bad
if you
for you,
really
like-
think about it, though, like it's like, what would you rather see if your 5-year-old accidentally walked in on something, right? Would you rather them accidentally walk in and see a pair of breasts, or would you rather them accidentally walk in and see somebody being horrifically, violently murdered? One is going to be far less scarring.
Definitely the murder. Yeah.
That's what I mean. When you think about it, North Americans are really messed up.
Yeah,
it's like,
are.
oh, wait a minute. Yeah, actually, when you think about Europeans, you are right. It's like, and that's what I mean. That's why, like, there was so much, like, nudity and, like, sexual innuendos and, like, even sex, even if it was badly filmed.
Yeah.
And, you know, if the sex was fake as hell. Like, they're a lot more freer with that, and they have no problem putting that in.
Mm-hmm.
But if you looked at a lot of the killing in the movie, it wasn't over the top.
No.
It wasn't grotesque.
Absolutely
like
not.
in an American horror film would be. You know what I mean? It was very subtle.
Oh, it was very subtle.
Whereas if it was an American horror film, it would have been reversed. The violence would have been over the
Like,
top.
2 characters got murdered and you didn't even see
You
the
barely
murder
saw
happen.
anything.
You just saw
Yeah.
the bodies.
Yeah,
It's like,
the aftermath.
Okay.
Or if you see somebody get stabbed, you see them getting stabbed, but it's not over the top or
Yeah.
something. You know what I mean? It's a little blood, it's a whatever. But that's what I mean. But if that were reversed, then like the violence, blood, and gore would be over the top, right?
Yeah.
And it would be excessive and gory and horrific, and the
it'd be
sex and nudity would be very limited or not at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like when you think about it, it's like, okay, fine, Europe will give it to you. I'll give it to you on that. But see, that's not what makes or breaks the film. Either or. What makes or breaks the film is the story.
Yes.
And
which,
I'm sorry, the story for Delirium is bad.
it
like,
could be
there's-
anyone.
And I'm going to say this up front, folks.
But it's probably
spoilers.
this guy.
There's going to be spoilers.
From this point on,
They
absolutely.
they really give it away early in the film who the killer could be.
Yeah.
When they go into the studio, because one of the killer's motifs or like hang-ups is he likes photographing the bodies after he's killed them.
Yeah.
And then they show you
ritual?
this. It's kind of like a ritual or
Yeah.
like whatever you want to call it. But they show he goes into like a film studio to do it. So it gives it away early in the film. It has to be 1 or 2 characters. There's only 2 photographers in the film,
Yeah.
right? There's the
Whether they're
there's-
taking photos while they're
Yeah.
in the studio.
there's the gay photographer, and then there's a photographer who's your brother.
Yeah.
So so those are the 2 people they focus on. So, and then you're thinking, but if they're smart, maybe it's not actually somebody who's the photographer because they work freelance for this agency. Maybe it's also could be somebody from the agency who has access to their studio.
Yeah.
And you want to give the movie the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they're setting up, and this red herring, and that the studio is just a red herring, and it won't be one of the 2 photographers. Spoiler alert: it is one of the 2 photographers. they really play their hand early in the film.
Yeah.
So it goes.
Are you going to the studio tonight?
But they try to.
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I know. It's like, but they try to get around it by having twist after twist after twist that make you think, okay, neither one of the photographers could be the killer. Because one of the photographer whose name I can't remember, I refer to him as the gay photographer because they went out of their way to make you know this character was gay in the film. However, they play it up as in he might be faking being gay. So you're like, oh, okay, maybe he has this thing about women, or he hates women, and he wants to kill them, and he's the killer, and the gay thing is just a facade. Maybe he's not really gay.
Yeah.
And they do kind of play that up a little bit. Spoiler alert, he is gay, and they kill him off by hitting him with a car.
Yeah.
So it's like they take him out and
I
say,
need
okay.
to talk to you. I need to talk to you.
And it's like, okay, it's like, so he can't be the killer. And then the other photographer is her brother, who you see get killed. Well, you don't actually see him get killed. You see his dead body, and then you later see
She didn't check for a pulse.
that you later then see the killer taking pictures of him and the other victim he kills at the same time. However, when you see that though, you realize because when you previously saw those scenes,
Yeah, he had the clicker.
you saw the killer actually taking the photos. When you saw him and his girlfriend having photos taken of their dead bodies, the camera was on a time lapse.
Yeah.
So that was also a red herring that something may be up with that. and that should have been a clue in that maybe this isn't what it seems.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert: the killer is the brother photographer. What he did was he faked his death, and then even when they have the killer taking photos of his dead body, like all the other kills in the film, the camera is time lapse, so you don't actually see the killer taking the photos. So really, and then you find out later on that obviously he time lapsed the camera so it would take photos of him, and then he faked his death so it would not have people be suspicious of him. Yeah. So he's dead, right? So he can't be him. However, it turns out to be him. He faked the whole thing, and it's just because he has this really big obsession with his sister, who runs the magazine, who's killing all these models for. They don't really dive into why he's obsessed with his sister so much.
No.
They're like when my brother and I were watching it earlier, we kind of joked how there seemed to be somewhat of an incestuous vibe between the brother and sister.
Yeah.
But that went both ways. That just wasn't like the brother being creepy. That was like the sister coming off too.
Yeah.
So you're wondering like, were these?
Should I just wear this? What was it?
We're just talking about
jacket?
stripping in front of her brother. Yeah, it's like
you just asked your brother
if he wants to take pictures of you naked with just barely anything on.
No, I'm good, thanks.
Or earlier too. There's something that they said to each other, which was
and they were like
creepy and out of place,
and like really,
and they just seemed like close for comfort.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is with that though, like I thought they were going to allude to that they were close, like really close, like what I mean, incestuous.
Yeah.
But they didn't. You know what I mean? They didn't go there. And so, which didn't explain what his obsession with his sister was. Because I could see if, like, the brother was mentally deranged, maybe if they had incestuously hooked up once or twice, and then he's, like really fixated on that, and, like, she's the only woman for him, and all this jazz, where she's like, just some fun incestuous sex, Like, I could have, like, at least understood why he went crazy and started killing everybody and idolized her and fantasized about her and put her up on this pedestal, but he just went crazy for the sake of no reason.
You could argue, because I think she's the older sister. I think she's older than him, because it seems she was caring for him.
She did. She took care of them when they were younger.
Yeah, exactly. So he was always around her. He
she was his number one. Like, she was his mother and his sister and his everything.
Yeah.
So I could see, you could argue that
obviously that
could have twisted
at a young age did damage his mind a little bit.
Yeah.
Obviously, he became a serial killer.
But there's things they allude to between them in the film that is like, I wish they either just came out and said something happened, or like equivocally denied something happened. Yeah. Because they really leave that open ended, and I feel it would have given a little bit more closure to his character. Yeah. Because they kind of allude to it a bit. Like, it's like, okay, like when you guys, were younger and all each other had, like, did you bump uglies? Is that where this is driving from?
Yeah.
Like, this is just more than, like, she's his everything. Because, she was like his mother and his sister kind of when they're younger. Yeah. I get that. That means you're going to be really close and very loyal to that person for sure. But not to the point where it got him at the end of the film, you know what I mean? Where he was obsessed and he was killing everybody around her. Yeah. I'm like, but why would you do that though? Now you're killing everybody around her. You're destroying her life. You're kind of like fingering her for the murders kind of thing. You know what I mean?
I mean, if she suspected it was
her. That's where I kind of thought it was going to go to. Like, she had snapped, and this is all done by her split personality. That would have made more sense than any other thing in this movie. Yeah. But to have it be him, and have it for the reasons they allude to without having any real resolution to, just doesn't make a lot of sense. Because you think if she's his everything, he would want to protect her. He would want to keep her safe. Yeah. He wouldn't want to put her in a deadly scenario. He wouldn't want to
kill her.
He wouldn't want to kill her. He would want to save her kind of thing. You know what I mean? Or like he would want to get her out of there kind of thing. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? If he didn't think the magazine was healthy for her, he didn't think the environment was healthy for her, then he would have encouraged her to sell to what's-her-face a lot earlier. Yeah. Which is what she eventually did anyways. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, like, if that was his motive, then, just sell to this broad and let's get the hell out of Dodge together. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And which she totally would have done. But that's what I mean. Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense why he did what he did.
Yeah.
Now, the only, as I said, like, if they had bumped uglies, if his love then became perverted and twisted because of that, then I can kind of see why he went the way he did in the end.
Yeah.
But the way they kind of set it up without them being a resolution to that,
Yeah.
doesn't make sense.
It just,
like,
yeah.
Because if she is truly his everything, he's going to want to protect her and keep her safe.
Yeah.
He's not going to want to destroy her world. And if he's not happy with the world she's in, he's not going to help encourage her staying in it, which is what he did throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to want her the most logical thing for him to have done to save her is convince her to sell to the crazy broad a lot earlier.
Yeah.
And then get the hell out of Italy.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's what I mean. Like, it doesn't make sense.
There's definitely something between the lines there.
It really, well, just not that. It's just poorly planned and plotted.
Yeah.
It feels like it almost like they were going to have the killer be somebody else, and they were just like, for shock value, it's like, let's make it him, and, you know, have him pick his own death, and make it more convoluted and confusing, and it's like, yeah, come on, just screw off.
Yeah.
And that's what really throws the film for me at the end. Like it had like either like the most logical thing for it to do is have her be the killer, and have it be a psychological split. Like have her like
I would have been very interested to have that as the plot.
That would have made more sense.
Yeah.
And then she would have put on the wig, and that would have been her other personality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or you would have had it be her roommate / secretary or for assistant character, like have and reveal that she's obsessed with her and she's in love with her and she can't stand her being around anyone else, and and because she can't have her, nobody can have her, so she's destroying her life.
Or the woman who was trying to buy the company, or the literally wanted her.
I know. Or I was gonna say the woman who bought her who was in love with her, who had a lesbian fling with her in the past. Like,
no, she stated that. No, she actually stated she never got that.
Oh, you're right. You did. She was pushing for it, but she never got it.
What she wanted. And she's like, "How dare you go there? Don't make me hate you." Kind of
right. Yeah, that's right.
Which would give her,
but still, it would have given her motive.
Yeah,
for sure. And like everyone out of the film, the only one, and even the cop who could have been a suspect.
Oh yeah,
he could have been like he was an obsessed fan. And like it could have been the same thing. It could have been like he wanted her, and nobody could have her. So
which
that's
would
why he's
explain
destroying.
Why there was no police protection to a rich magazine owner who was having bodies drop left and right.
It would totally explain away the police incompetence in that film.
Yes.
Because even no matter what you think of the police in real life, the police in real life would have been nowhere near as incompetent as the police in that film.
No.
That's not how it's handled.
No, it's like
as soon as those murders started happening, she would have had police protection.
Yes.
She would have had police surveillance.
She would have
especially towards the end.
bodyguards.
I know, that's another thing. Personal and bodyguards. Like I said, by the end of the film, she would have had police outside.
Yeah.
Like outside her house in the street, there would have been cop cars.
Yeah.
There would have been police guarding her house.
Yeah.
There would have been a cop inside.
Yeah.
She would have had personal bodyguards on top of it. Like she would have essentially been in Fort Knox at that point.
Yes.
She wouldn't have been like carefree and la-di-da, and it's like I can understand a normal person, but she's a high profile celebrity.
Exactly.
There's no way she wouldn't have had an army protecting her at that point. You know what I mean?
And then the incompetence of the cop calling and being like, no evidence to that point of any investigation happened, but they were like, boom, it's the gay guy. It's definitely the gay guy. Don't let him in your house.
Yeah,
and like all of her doors are open and unlocked.
Oh, that's another thing. Like,
and it's like,
I know.
By that point, they should all be locked.
Well, that's what I said. At that point, all her doors would have been locked. At that point, she would have had a police officer in the house and personal bodyguards in the house.
Yeah,
she would have had police officers standing outside her house.
At least locked.
She would have had cop cars on the street watching her and surveilling her house. You know what I mean? They would have had plainclothes cops in the area too. Like she would have been under Fort Knox, and yes, all her doors and windows on her house would have been locked.
Yeah, at the very least. If everything else
I mean,
was a no, that's the one.
No,
thing
that's what I mean. Like that's why the ending, like towards the end of the film, it just loses all credibility.
Yeah,
because there's just no way. There's just no way nobody would have left her that open at that point. She would have had so much protection, it wasn't even funny.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with that's why like a lot of these horror films like frustrate me, and I just really can't get into them because when like that's a huge leap in logic for me. You know what I mean? It's like, and then of course the whole leap of logic at the end with her brother being the killer.
Yeah,
It's like no, like you guys are lazy. You're unimaginative. You're just wanting a shock for the sake of shock.
Yeah.
Like this movie doesn't make
Which
sense
you
on
weren't
so
shocked
many levels.
by because you expected it.
No, because they dealt their hand early in the film,
Exactly.
so it's like it has to be one of these two characters. It was one of these two characters.
Yeah.
And they made it for the most unbelievable reason.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, fine, but give us an actual reason why he's doing that then, other than he's just creepy and weird. Oh, he's just creepy and weird? That's so unimaginative. Good job, guys.
Yeah.
Good job at failing miserably.
Yeah.
Good job at failing uphill so bad.
But all in all, a great softcore porn.
Yeah, that's basically all the praise you can give that film.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of nice nudity and a lot of poorly shot sex scenes.
Yeah.
It's like that's about it. But man, it's like, I mean, like it could have been a good film. There was so much there that could have made it a good film, and it could have been more of a suspense film than anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It didn't have to necessarily be like a slasher-esque film, or a giallo film.
Yeah.
It could have been more of a suspense thriller. You know what I mean? And it didn't have to be a huge body count. They could have been more intelligent and about how they structured the story and what they were trying to do with it, kind of thing. But they didn't want to go that route. They went the route they did.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like if that film were made nowadays in North America, it would be changed so much. And this would be one of the times where any change would be for the better for this film.
Yeah.
Like this is one of the few films I feel like a remake could massively improve it.
Yeah, a remake. I don't know if I want to go.
I know I don't want to. But you know what? But rather than like there's that old people have been joking around for years like. Why they always remake good films because then the remakes suck. Just remake bad films because you have a chance they might be good.
Exactly.
This is
if it sucks as well, great. You know.
But you're at least not ruining the original. You only have a chance to improve the original.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about this film. Like I wouldn't want to see a remake.
Yeah.
But a remake could only improve it if somebody actually use common sense and logic and effort and put some effort into actually writing the script and directing this competently.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Alright, I guess final thoughts.
Final thoughts is check this out if you're a fan of Italian giallo films.
Yeah.
If not, don't waste your time.
Yeah. Agreed. Absolutely.
Yep. Alright, that's pretty much our thoughts on that. So I think this is a film I can say we watched it for you. This is one you really don't need to see unless, as I said, you're a huge fan of Italian giallo. Then check it out. If not, then we made that sacrifice for you guys to watch it for you to tell you don't watch it.
Yes, we did.
All right. So I guess on that note, like, share, and subscribe to all my followers on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in. To all my new followers at Rumble, thank you so much. And looking forward to uploading more content in the future. Alright guys, like, share, and subscribe and all that jazz, and until next time, have a good one.
Ciao.